This episode has been made possible by our awesome sponsors, Sunsail. Thanks, guys. I've asked them why they haven't put a sauna in it yet, because I think that would be really cool, and they've definitely got space for a sauna on that boat.
I would agree. I mean, it'd be interesting if they... I doubt many are sold into the North European market.
No.
It's,
but there's a challenge for the first boat to be launched that has a properly working sauna on it. Ideally, next to a fold-down platform, so you can just jump from the sauna straight into the sea and then back into the sauna.
Well, sauna's the rage. I mean... Now everyone's saying how healthy they are.
Yeah, exactly.
And the obviously the Finnish have known this forever. So
yeah. Well, come on, guys. Who's going to build a boat with a sauna on it?
A production boat.
A production boat with a sauna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in for that.
Maybe you just need to sit in the heads compartment with a kettle on.
Yeah. And then if we had it in the UK, you get the cold water therapy as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hi guys, welcome to the Sailing Podcast, the podcast where we talk about boats, the sea, the people that sail those boats and the awesome things they do on those boats. And today we are at the Düsseldorf Boat Show, and I am joined by none other than Yachting World's very own Toby Hodges. Toby, thanks for joining us.
Pleasure.
I feel like I need a round of applause there. Now, Toby, you are probably one of the best known faces when it comes to boat testing. I don't know anyone who's tested more boats than you, or at least I would challenge them to come forwards and identify themselves if they have. Any idea of how many boats you have tested in your life?
No. in a word, no. But I guess over the last 2 decades, averaging, 30 to 40 a year. So probably 30, 35 a year. So somewhere north of 500 probably.
Should we say 1,000?
Could be. I will, yeah.
The face that tested 1,000 yachts.
I don't think we can say that. That makes me feel very old.
Well, Helen of Troy.
Several hundred, let's say.
Several hundred.
Yeah.
So when it comes to boats, you're probably about as discerning a customer as you can get.
Probably, although I've never had the funds to buy any of these boats.
No, that's the problem, isn't it?
Makes my buying habits a bit different. If I'm only imagining it rather than actually having to do it.
Yeah, and I think we should get in right at the start that you might work for Yachting World now, but back in the day you actually started with Yachting Monthly.
That's where the dream starts.
That's where the dream starts for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's where real sailors go. And
exactly. No, I was lucky enough to get an apprenticeship, the Jeff Pack Scholarship, Yachting Monthly. So that was my first 5 years of marine journalism.
Yeah, cool. And then you've been on Yachting World for a few years now.
Yeah, almost 20 years now.
Yeah, amazing. And as part of that, your main job, really, your day job, is testing boats. You're a boat test editor.
Yeah. And
you also do European Yacht of the Year.
Yeah,
so you're one of the judges on the panel.
That's right. Yeah, so there's 12 jury members from across magazines across Europe, and I'm from the British magazine of that panel. And yeah, it's been going for 23 years. And yeah, we're at the Düsseldorf Boat Show, and that's where the awards are announced. The award winners are announced. So it's a really good start to the year. It's a busy show, and being part of that is a big part of my testing program for the year.
Yeah, so you get access to loads of boats. All the manufacturers come together. There's a couple of different testing sessions through the year, aren't there?
Yeah, that's right.
Barcelona, and where's the other one?
Well, this year it was IJmuiden in the Netherlands, but it differs. So what happens, is we look at all the yachts that launch in this winter and spring, and then we get together in typically May, June time, shortlist watch boats are potentially the most interesting to then sea trial, and we'll get together that shortlist, and then all 12 jury members will get together to test the boat. So everyone tests all the boats.
Yeah.
So the location is based on where it's probably easiest for the manufacturers to be able to get a boat. So we'll try and do a North European one and try and do a Mediterranean one.
Yeah, nice. And how many boats are there that you've been judging this year? It's quite a few, aren't there?
21. Yeah, 20. So we shortlisted 23. 2 of them couldn't make it. We tested 21, and then we gave 5 category award winners, and a special mention to those.
Yeah, amazing. Well, we're going to come on to properly onto European Yacht of the Year in a minute, but I wanted to talk about the Düsseldorf Boat Show first. But before we get there,
yeah,
the little icebreaker.
Yeah.
What was the first boat you ever sailed?
Be a mirror dinghy. That was our first family boat.
That was a family boat.
That's what I first remember being on.
Yeah. Little red sails, guns to rig.
Exactly. Yeah, and there was 4 of us and a Great Dane on that, and that was.
And a Great Dane.
Yeah, because I remember the dog falling out of that. I was probably aged about 4, and us having to try and get a Great Dane back on board.
How do you get a Great Dane back on board a mirror dinghy?
With a lot of effort.
I feel like that's a sailing skills article.
A wet Great Dane. Yeah. But yes, we always had dinghies in the family, and that's how we went from a Wayfarer to a mirror to a Wayfarer, and my brother and I started sailing dinghies together, and then we started, racing in toppers and lasers and that sort of thing. Yeah. So it was always on dinghies. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And for big boat sailing, did you start that then once you were with the magazines? Was it dinghies all the way up until then, or did you go?
It was, other than going sailing on friends' yachts or boats and friends of the family and that sort of thing. But yes, so I had some cruising, but most of the time it was dinghy sailing growing up, and then I had the chance to travel a bit after doing my degree and working on super yachts for a couple of years and seeing the world, basically.
Nice. That's a good way of doing it.
Yeah,
earning
exactly.
Pocket money while you get
earn money, and got my sea miles in, really.
Yeah, good. Right, Düsseldorf. It's a slightly incongruous concept of coming to the middle of a continent. Well, not quite the middle, but we're a fair way inland in the middle of winter. It's not exactly sunshine and seaside, is it?
It's not. And there's the funny thing about filling all these exhibition halls with boats and pumping full of hot air and stuff in the middle of winter, but we'll let that go because it's an exciting show. It's an exciting start to the year.
It's basically where at least the entire European industry, or a lot of the European industry and some of the world's industry, come every year to launch. A lot of their new models are launched here, new concepts. So there's loads going on, 17 halls of boats and equipment and boards, and there's sort of water sports, isn't it? So there's scuba diving and surfing as well.
There's everything to do with the water here. Yeah, chartering, diving, water sports, which is obviously... That hall next door to us has really grown, the whole foiling and paddleboarding and fun young generation water sports side of it.
Yeah, it's massive.
But I ought to explain to those listening as well that I am probably you now, because you've been here for a little bit, but I've been here for the 4 days, sort of 12 hours a day in this show, and I'm on my knees because that is a lot of boat chat, and I don't mind boat chat at the best of times, but
you're reaching max boat chat.
Yeah,
well, you're doing very well. My wife reaches max boat chat after about 15 minutes, and asks me if I have any other topics I want to talk about.
No, I say about. I mean, we're lucky enough to be sitting in a comfortable boat, and it's the end of the day, and there's been a lot of really cool boats to talk about, and I love it. And there's a lot of people. This show, more than ever, more than any other show, people stop you and want to talk about designs, want to talk about what their shortlist is, what they're looking at. And I love that. I just really
it's quite a cool job to be able to be the person who helps set people's shortlists for.
It is a cool job, and but it's quite gratifying to have that immediate feedback, face to face. Go, thank you for doing that review or whatever, or that video, and that was what helped kickstart me getting that boat or showing my family off.
Pumping these reports and YouTubes out into the
exactly
ether. And they sort of go off and do what they do, and some do well and some don't.
And everyone tells you how badly you've done it. Exactly. But to meet them in real life and to get it's nice.
Well, we've got a beer here. Thanks very much. And we should say cheers. I don't know what the audio or sound of
Wow, that is the sound of
five,
a
5.5 knots. I've got a, I don't know, is that a wheat beer or something? You've got a Pilsner? I don't know what we've got. So
they're local Kiel beers because we are on the Pure 42, which is a new aluminium fast cruising build. And it's a new shipyard near Kiel.
Which is in the north of Germany on the Baltic coast.
Exactly. Really interesting new boat, which I'm sure we'll come to talk about, but that's a nice beer to go with it.
It's very nice indeed. Yeah, I feel like we've earned it at the end of the day.
And it's very hot in here as well.
Yeah. We've closed the hatches so that we can close the noise of the rest of the show out, because there are various stands having their evening drinks and the tunes that go with it. So we've tried to make it quiet in here, so hopefully the audio...
Created our own sauna, I think.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have lost 5 kilos by the end of this podcast. Well, hopefully we'll be able to string a few sentences together and not talk complete gibberish at the end of the day.
We'll see.
Right, without further ado, let's get on to Boot Düsseldorf.
Yeah.
We're in Hall 16. I've lost track slightly of where we are now.
Yeah.
Hall 16, and this is the sailing hall. There are 2 sailing halls. This is the one with all of the big yachts in.
Yeah.
They pack a surprising number of yachts in here. In years gone by, there were maybe some more yachts, but there are definitely some interesting boats here. So what have you seen? What's taken your fancy? What have you spent time on board in the last couple of days?
I would say, you're completely right. There's a lot of new boats in here, and it's nice that pretty much all the big brands are here. And last year, there were Bavaria and Hanse were obviously missing, and they're back again this year, which is good to see. And all the other main production yards are here. I would say probably this year is slightly less on the new launch front, but there continue to be a lot of interesting new diverse models coming and have launched here. So here there's a range of sizes and designs from the Astus 26.5 folding trimaran through to the biggest first ever in 5 decades of Beneteau First. And that's
the first 60, which I can actually see out of the window. We're in a raised saloon boat, and so we've got quite a good view around, and I can just see the first 60 over there next to the first 36 and the first... Have they got the first 30 here this year?
They got the first 30 there as well,
Yeah, so they're quite cool boats.
Yeah, it is. But that's kind of shows you, I guess, where yachting has gone, how big that... But I mean, that is a huge first.
Yeah.
But it does share the Oceanus hull, and that gives you an idea of the volume of it. It's
big volume boats. So that's one of the trends probably, that as you walk around the show, all of the boats, even some of the more conventional ones, I mean, we're next to the Halberg Grassi stand here, they've gone much higher volume. We're on a performance cruiser here that's pretty high volume. It's got unbelievable space down below. I mean, it's sort of not really down below, it's all sort of up on a level. It's pretty cool.
That's right.
But everyone's gone big volume. Some have gone for twin rudders, but not everybody. So that's another thing, sort of who's doing twin rudders or single rudders.
Yeah.
But there's also a couple of really innovative boats that we've seen either launched or the concept's been launched, and some were here last year, like the Vauquier.
That's right.
Pilot saloon.
Yeah.
I've forgotten what size that is. 48?
55.
55.
That is huge.
55,
yeah, 5.4 meters of beam. 5.3.
Yeah.
That's starting to bridge the world of monohull and multi-hull, really. You almost are comparing that to a cap.
Yeah, because it's got similar kind of beam.
Yeah.
Just vast interior volume.
Yes, exactly.
A really interesting concept with that one of the sort of on deck down below. It all sort of merges to one, even as you go into that aft owner's cabin in the Vauquier.
That's right.
You've got a sort of what would you call it? Sort of a terrace across the stern.
Yeah.
You've got access up sort of half a flight of companionway steps up onto your own private
access. Yeah, which is, you've only ever seen that on a super yacht before.
Yeah.
I mean, Wally did it in the late 90s, and there's been a couple of other big, I mean, I can't think about anything under probably 80 foot that's done that before.
Yeah. And then I went on the Dufour 54 today, which is a big boat. I mean, the bow is so wide that the owner's cabin, the berth is no longer on the centre line or fore and aft at all. They've actually turned it beam on, so your head's on starboard side and your feet are on, well, not on port side, your feet are sort of midships and your head's on starboard side for a full king size, super king size double bed with separate heads, all the works, your own dressing. It's got a separate dressing room. I've asked them why they haven't put a sauna in it yet, because I think that would be really cool, and they've definitely got space for a sauna on that boat.
I would agree. I mean, it'd be interesting if I doubt many are sold into the North European market.
No.
It's,
but there's a challenge for the first boat to be launched that has a properly working sauna on it, ideally next to a fold-down platform, so you can just jump from the sauna straight into the sea and then back into the sauna.
Well, sauna's the rage. I mean... Now everyone's saying how healthy they are.
Yeah, exactly.
And the obviously the Finnish have known this forever. So
well, come on, guys, who's going to build a boat with a sauna on it?
A production boat.
A production boat with a sauna on it. Yeah.
I'm in for that.
Maybe you just need sit in the heads compartment with a kettle on.
Yeah, and then if we had it in the UK, you get the cold water therapy as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hi guys, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to say a few words about our sponsors, Sunsail, who have made this episode possible. If you've been on a sailing charter holiday, you'll know that there is a moment when you realise day is completely yours. The anchor's down, the water's warm, and nothing is demanding your attention. That's the kind of summer Sunsail is built for. With Sunsail Bareboat in Greece and Croatia, you sail on your own terms. You move with the conditions, linger when a place feels right, and shape the week around the water, the wind, and the people you're sailing with. No compromises, just time spent properly at sea. You're doing it aboard Sunsail's award-winning yachts, boats designed for real cruising with the space and comfort that make long days under sail feel easy and the evenings anchor something you genuinely look forward to. Greece is ideal for this kind of sailing. Short passages, steady breezes and islands close enough that the journey is always part of the pleasure. Croatia offers the same freedom, clear water, sheltered routes and harbours that invite you to slow everything down. And if you like the idea of bareboat sailing but you want a bit more support, Sunsail flotillas give you that balance. You sail your own yacht with a lead crew and local knowledge on hand, plus a group to share the experience with. So if a Mediterranean summer is calling, do it under sail. Visit www.sunsail.com/UK and the link's in the description below, and start planning a summer that feels just right, from the moment you cast off. Okay, let's get back to the episode.
If we have it in the UK, you get the cold water therapy as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Is there anything else at Düsseldorf that you've seen that's taken your fancy?
Yes. Saffier here with the new SE28 Leopard, which they sent me the videos of that sailing in December, and I mean they say it's their best yet, and I know a lot of yards say it's their best yet, but it does look. I
mean, they know how to build a boat that sails well. I tested the Saffier SE33 Life.
Yes,
I think I've got that correct.
Yeah,
a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
sails like an absolute dream. Goes to windward as easy as anything. Planes off the wind without breaking a sweat.
Yeah.
So what's the concept of the?
But you'll remember with that how easy it is to sail
super
as
easy.
Well. Everything is being able to, and that's 33 obviously, and this is smaller, but being able to make everything inviting and easy to sail, whether leaving the dock, putting the sails up, or trimming them, is not as easy as it sounds. To do it properly solo, and that's where they just have absolutely nailed it.
Yeah. So has it got the midship helms where they move the helms?
Yeah, they are still forward, so you get a big sort of sunbathing area aft. It's got a tiller option. Mm-hmm. I mean, they call it the most versatile, I think it is. Yeah, so you can do tiller or wheels. You can have a flush forward deck, or you can have solar up there. You have electric or diesel as standard, which that's quite interesting because, as you know, most electric drives, hybrid drives, cost an arm and leg extra still. They've been doing electric for a long time, and I think that's where it really makes sense on smaller boats, dinghy sports boats, weekenders, where you're literally using that engine maybe to get out of the marina, because those boats start sailing in the lightest zephyrs of wind.
3 or 4 knots of wind and you'll be off sailing.
So, I mean, if you're buying that, you're not you're not using a motor.
Yeah, I mean, you're not sailing across the channel in that.
Yeah,
probably.
Exactly. And then you only need a solar panel to top up that engine, and that's that battery. And
that's the second launch for Saffier in 2 years, because they came here last year with the 46 SL, is that right? That's
luxury. SL46.
SL46, yeah.
That's right.
Which is their big luxury cruising boat.
Yeah, and that was sort of a step out of their niche, I would say. And that's been interesting because they've gone from that back down to right slap in their niche, which that 28 takes the flat planing hull shape of the 24, which was a Yacht of the Year winner, and just a very cool boat to sail, but quite radical in its flat run aft nature. You know, it's a very planing shape, and it combines that with the 33 that you were talking about, and the best of both of those. Whereas the 46 is it's a luxury fast cruising boat, really. You know, it's got everything on there to stay on board for a good period of time.
Yeah.
And it's a 7-figure boat. So it's a big old step up. So now what they've announced at this show is a 38 version of that 46.
Yeah, okay.
So they're
sort of filling in, they've gone big at the top end of the range.
Yeah.
Consolidated the bottom of the range, and now they're filling in the gaps.
They are. But what you've got to remember as well, they sell a lot of boats. They build a lot of boats, and I've been to their yard a few times, and they build them very, very well. And it as you know, there's quite a lot of talk about downturn, the post-COVID bubble bursting and all that sort of thing. But they're still building 150 plus boats a year.
150 plus. That's a lot, yeah, because a lot of the smaller yards are they keep turning over, but they're at sort of 10, 15, 20 yachts a year.
Yeah.
There aren't many that are building 150 a year. That's amazing.
And I now want to tell you how many of this 38 they've sold, and I've forgotten. I would have to consult my notes, but I didn't
have a look.
I didn't even know until yesterday about this. Well, no, I got the press release about this 38, and bearing in mind it doesn't launch till this time next year. So they haven't really been actively selling it, but yeah, they've already sold quite a few.
Yeah, I'll see if we can put a few of the pictures that we're talking of the boats about on our YouTube channel under this video, and I might do if you have a look at yachtingworld.com and search for the European Yacht of the Year, you'll find quite a lot of the boats we're talking about there as well. But I'll see if I can put a little post together, maybe a link in the description that's got some of the pictures on, because I think you might like to look at some of these boats. The other boat sort of just
27 sold off plan.
This is Saffier 38.
Yeah.
27 off plan.
Yes.
That's a vast number to have sold.
They've just announced it. I mean, that's and to be honest, that size boat in this current economics time, I mean, it's phenomenal.
Yeah. But then if they're building 150 a year, 27 boats they can churn out in, what's that?
Yes, but the thing about 150 boats is their day sailing range. Not, that's the bulk of it. This is a cruising boat.
So it takes a lot longer to build because you've got...
That's in the style of that 46.
Yeah, so you've got winches and fridges and electronics and air conditioning and
full interior.
Yeah. All the stuff that takes a long time to build, and which is why new yachts are so expensive. At the other end of the spectrum, a boat that I've seen today that I really like the look of is the J7.
Nice. Yeah.
You thought I was going to go somewhere properly rogue with that one, didn't you?
I thought you were going to go into the dinghy hall for a second.
No, not going quite that far.
Okay.
But the J7.
Yeah.
So, if anybody knows J-Boats, they're pretty conservative in their styling and in their ethos. They really don't want to be chasing fashions. They're not going high volume. They're after building very slippery hulls that are very nicely balanced. Not huge volume, but that are really easy to sail well. That you just get on board and they just go.
Yeah.
And you can obviously tweak them and refine them and stuff, but they don't need it. And the J7, so it's the same size as a J70, which gets raced all over the world. This is a completely new hull, and it's designed for day sailing, much easier sailing. So it's beamier. It's got a deeper keel with a heavier keel. So it's more solid, more stiff, so you don't have to sit on the side to keep it upright. And they've stripped it right back to basics. They've got rid of the travellers. They've still got an adjustable backstay, but it is, you look at it and you're like, where have all the controls got? But it's got backstay, it's got kicker, and the basics of what you need. But knowing J-Boats, you look at the hull and you go, that is a slippery looking hull. So it's not super fat, it's not going to be the most powerful boat you've ever sailed, but it's going to sail really nicely or certainly the intention is it's going to sail really nicely.
Especially upwind, I imagine.
Yeah, it'll just slip along like a dream. Initially, they weren't even going to fit an off-wind sail to it, a kite or anything. Yeah. They have put a bowsprit on it, a fixed bowsprit, because actually people do want to go a bit quicker downwind. But it's interesting because quite often you either go for a basic boat that doesn't sail very well, or you go for a fully spec'd up boat that's mega expensive and a bit tweaky to sail, or you go for something like a Saffier that's stunning to sail, but that's partly through electric winches and a few more complex things, or a bit more cost, for example. They've gone entry level, back to basics, but in a boat that should sail absolutely beautifully. It's got a little cabin. You could probably put a porta potty in there if you wanted to. Yeah. You might get 2 people sleeping on there overnight at a push, but it's not about that. So it's going to sailing schools and yacht clubs, and it might be a bit of sort of gentleman's racing, sort of a little bit more. You don't have to hike out. You can just sit in the cockpit. That's the idea. But you still sail at pretty much the same speed, and you still get that lovely feeling on the helm. So that was one that, J-Boats have launched a sort of a performance cruising line, or they're really pushing into that sort of performance cruiser kind of thing. That their boats are meant to be versatile because they're not extreme. Yeah. So they've got the 36, the 40 now, and the 45, and I tested the 45, and that was expensive, but it sailed beautifully. And just went like a train. So I'd be really interested to sail this sort of stripped back, smaller J-boat. So I quite like the look of that.
Yeah, pretty looking boat as well.
Yeah, they get the lines right. Yeah. And you look at it and you go, you look at it and you go, wow, that's a narrow stern, narrow transom by today's standards. Yeah. But that's how they keep them balanced and just sort of slipping along nicely. So I think that'll be a nice boat to take for a sail at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Other things we've seen. Oh, there's one little thing that I did see that I like. I quite like all the little details that you get. 2 things that have caught my eye today. On a number of boats, solar panels. Yeah. Normally you see just squares of solar panels, semi-flexible, stuck down onto the roof of a boat, and you get maybe 180, 200 watts of power. But quite a few boats now are going for I think they're mostly made by Solbian, where effectively they've got loads of little squares of solar panels, but then they're all covered with what looks like a solar panel, like a dark blue panel, but it's completely fitted and tailored to the deck. So you can have the entire coach roof, or you could have above us. Yeah, we've got one here. It must
all
be
of this roof,
500-600 watts of solar easily, if not more than that. Yeah. The Dufour 54's got a hard top over the cockpit. That's completely covered in solar. Dufour 48's got a foredeck that's completely covered in solar. Halberg Rass has got their coach roofs covered in solar. So it's a really unobtrusive way of adding loads of solar capacity. So I quite like that.
Yeah, it's interesting that you're coming from that angle as well, because I see this trend coming in more and more, which I'm surprised hasn't happened sooner, and that's protecting the cockpit more and more. And this is a perfect example, and there are other ones where, whether it's coming from the world of IMOCA or Class 40s, racing boats that are really trying to protect their cockpits, cruisers need to have the same, essentially, but also for sun protection as well. So those hard tops that we're seeing coming in, whether it's an extended coach roof sort of thing we're on now, or a hard top bimini, an arch with a bimini like Dufour, like Hanse. Contest now have one of their new 56 CS, where you have an arch and a hard bimini with all of that solar capacity on it, but also taking the main sheet out of harm's way. So I think the protection and the ability to take that highly loaded main sheet away from guests in the cockpit is a brilliant thing. And that's only got to come in more and more.
interestingly, the other boat that's just come out, or not come out, the designs have just launched. I saw a little thumbnail of it on an email the other day, and I need to have a proper look at it. But Clipper, round the world race.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're amateurs, 20-odd amateurs on a 70-footer racing around the world. And main sheet safety is a massive thing for them, and quite difficult to manage when you've got that many people on deck. They've just announced the plans for their new boats they're going to have, and they've put in cockpit protection. So they've got two separate sort of dog houses. Two cuddies, and the aft one has an arch with the main sheet on top of it.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it's the fact that this is sort of an offshore race boat that's taking the main sheet out of the cockpit shows that the main sheet and accidental jibes are a serious safety consideration. We've covered that in the magazine before, and how you do that. There's loads of different ways of making it safer, but it is a big safety consideration.
It's a big safety consideration, and and that's Clipper know that probably more than anyone.
Yeah,
and and some of these larger performance cruisers, certainly the med-based ones that have single point main sheets in the middle of a very spacious cockpit, that's a highly loaded piece of gear, and it's got the potential to cause real damage. And so I would champion keeping that out of harm's way.
So main sheet safety anyway.
Clipper RX new design, that's Nigel Irons as well. He's a bit of a hero. Very
cool boat, and should be a bit of a weapon, I'd have thought.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, that's it for part one, and our roundup of the exciting new boats that were on show at Boot Düsseldorf in Germany this year. We'll be back for part two, where I'll be talking more to Toby and taking a look at the European Yacht of the Year awards. It's a fascinating process of how an international jury shortlist, test and pick their winners, and the boats that really are as good as they say they are. Thanks to Toby and to the guys from Pure Yachts in Germany who let us shoot this episode aboard their beautiful new Pure 42, which is a super cool aluminium performance adventure cruiser. Until next time, see you later. Thanks to our awesome sponsors Sunsail for making this episode possible.